Oh, let me test the sound on Twitch. This is me making sure you can't hear my music. I think we're good. How's it going? Yeah, welcome to the stream, everyone. Another week of crazy news has come out of Japan. This episode, there's a lot of crazy stuff. I couldn't believe it as I was like coming up with, as I was researching all the articles, like literally everything you see from this week on the stream has happened this exact week. So quite literally every single story is the last couple days. And we're going to cover everything from mayonnaise that you can drink now, noodles that you get out of a vending machine, an onion thief, people finally giving up drinking at work. I'll talk about it later. But my experience of when I was living in Japan, the drinking culture after work was definitely troublesome. And then when I was working in England, the drinking after work was also as troublesome. And I'll be covering that as well. Like, take a drink and get my voice ready. Oh, as I almost travel dimensions with my model. So, just like last week, I'm going to be chopping this stream up into various different videos. I actually sat on all of last week's videos to start publishing them from next week forward, just to give myself a little bit of a buffer, because I am brand new to video editing and kind of struggling to learn how to edit, kind of what makes a good edit, how, like, what my style of editing is. Like, that's been quite challenging, just like to deal with on top of everything else, you know, like normal life. And then suddenly, like, oh, this extra streaming and like video editing stuff. It'd be really cool to do for the various shorts, clips and stuff like that I'm doing. It'd be nice to have like more editing style to them, but I'm just not that good. I've been working on those soon. Hopefully I can make them a little bit more interesting than rather than just like straight up clips, like some more like visual effects, captions, stuff like that. It's just time learning how to do all those things and making them not look awful or super amateur. But that's just the way of things. Hold on, let me check my setup real quick. I'm streaming on, what is it, Twitch, YouTube, and X, Twitter, all at the same time. Occasionally things go a little bit awry. Particularly on Twitter, it seems to be a little bit temperamental at times. Also because they're making so many changes to that platform. But I'm gonna get going with the This Week in Japan. Because I've actually got like quite a lot of stories to cover, and they're all like pretty funny. So I'm gonna make a start with the grossest one. We'll see how this goes. The grossest story of the week, in my opinion. Okay, cool. Let's roll. So, Lawson's, a Japanese convenience store, has cracked under the pressure to create something new and exciting. And what did they come up with? Drinkable mayonnaise. Who needs a sandwich where you can just drink the condiment directly, I guess? So, this saucy deal is only $1.30. So for those of you that can drink, quote, a chilled drink that recreates the rich and sour flavors of mayo. I mean, what an excellent idea that is. I'm sure it will exceed all expectations. But plus, it's not actually technically mayonnaise 100%. Reviewers have stated that it tastes exactly like it. And I just want you to picture drinking mayonnaise. That's something most people would do if they lose a bet. It's something they would pay for. But what's really interesting about Japan is that they have a lot of different mayo products. They're really crazy for mayonnaise for some reason. So, and these are real products. On the left we have, no joke, sliced sheets of mayonnaise. You know, kind of like those cheese packets you get, like American cheese. Consider this to be like that version, but it's mayonnaise. And you're supposed to place them on sandwiches rather than using the condiment. Maybe it's just if you want the flavor of mayonnaise but not the liquid. Who knows. And on the right, and I don't believe this actually exists, but it does, we have mayonnaise ice cream. And it's only 300 calories. And it really kind of begs the question, like, what are they going to do next? Like, mayonnaise flavored popcorn? I mean, in one way, that kind of sounds like I just landed my next role as the head of research and development, but... So, me, and I as a British person, I'm not a big fan of mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is a little bit too spicy for my British tastes. Nah, it's just, I've never really liked mayonnaise. I've never really felt that it's been, like, the best. It's not something I've ever really been, like, super attached to. So people go nuts for it. But like mayonnaise in general is just like not what I'm keen to eat. Never mind drink. Oh, welcome back, Mia. Mayo over salad cream. Nah. Do you want to have a look at I'll bring it back. So this is they call it a cup, but it's kind of like a can. It's just like the can of mayo that you can buy at a Japanese convenience store. And so rather than, I don't know, having a sandwich, you can just drink the condiment directly. And so it's only $1.30. And with that, you're able to, quote, drink a chilled drink that recreates the rich and sour flavors of mayo. Neither of them sound like they were meant to be drank. I know. It's such I was going to say it's an awful idea, but clearly it's an excellent idea. So apparently it's technically not actually mayonnaise 100%, but reviewers have said that it tastes exactly like mayonnaise. Mayonnaise only in its natural form. Mayonnaise only in its highly processed natural form. And what's funny is because they're so crazy about mayonnaise in Japan, you can buy sheets, like mayonnaise sheets, and you can put them on sandwiches. So rather than using like the liquid condiment of mayo, you can just buy like a dried, semi-dry sheet of mayonnaise to put on a sandwich instead. You know, like kind of like American cheese slices. But then on the right, you can... Oh, hey, Brittany, how's it going? But then on the right, you can also buy mayonnaise ice cream. Like, how crazy does that sound? Oh, hey, thank you for the follow, Alan. Vintalia? That's a cool name. You don't know what's worse, the dried mayo or the liquid mayo. Yeah, so you have two choices, chat. You can either drink mayo or you can consume mayo in sheet form. So you can really, or you can have mayonnaise ice cream. Them are your free choices. I'm not sure which you would prefer. Drinking mayonnaise, having a mayonnaise slice, or mayonnaise ice cream. You know, personally being British, mayonnaise is a little bit too spicy for my tastes. I'm actually not a big fan of mayonnaise. I really don't get like the hype and why you would then like build a company that specializes in mayonnaise to then branch out into like ice cream and all these different stuff. Or you could just dump it in the bin and drink, you know, normal drinks. What's so funny about this mayonnaise is that it just like it makes you kind of think about what they would come up with next. Like, could it be like mayonnaise flavored popcorn? Do you know what I mean? Or like a chocolate bar that has mayonnaise in the middle? Like, you're heaving. I just don't understand. So apparently the ice cream is actually like quite sweet. It apparently they were saying it tastes like kind of white chocolate. It doesn't have this like mayonnaise hint. Don't ruin chocolate for you. But I guess what's really funny about the drink is that people were saying that it recreates the rich and sour flavors of mayo. So like they're saying it's a legit, and it like legitimately tastes like mayonnaise. So not something I would go for. There's something that I'm gonna mention later in the stream, which I would like. I'd be really hesitant to buy from a vending machine, but kind of looks decent. Just knowing there's mayo in it would be enough to put you off. Yeah, we'll put a lid on the mayonnaise story for now. We might come back to it, but I'll move on to the Godzilla Dam. So this week in I'll start that again. This week in Saga Prefecture, Godzilla has appeared on the side of a 190-foot tall dam, and like, goddamn, that's cool. I mean, sorry, that's some damn good art. I mean, so during the dam's monster cleanup, the contractors using high pressure washers decided to like spice things up, and they did this really cool piece of art. And now the King of Monsters defends the prefecture. So I did reach out to the contractors to determine if the power washers were indeed atomic powered. Apparently they were not. So they drew it by abseiling down the dam. I've got some pictures in a moment. And so they abseiled down the dam, and they're using pressure washers and kind of like a geographic map to draw this huge Godzilla. Like, the picture doesn't do it justice. It's nearly 200 feet tall. It's a crazy size. So I asked the contractors if they were worried about Godzilla's artistic expression, and they said, "Don't worry, he's just blowing off steam." So I actually heard that since Godzilla retired, he got into painting and has gone on to hold several well-regarded art galleries. I mean, who knew? As part of his retirement, I hear that the King of Monsters has shifted into dam maintenance as his new side hustle. I mean, even the King of Monsters is struggling to make ends meet in today's world. I say King of Monsters, I suppose he's the King of Dams now. So we can take a look at them abseiling and pressure washing, how they did this. Yeah, this is super cool. Like, if this is where your taxpayer money was going, I mean, I wouldn't complain. I just love the idea of, like, because clearly this is like a normal road. You could be taking your kid to school, and then like, there's Godzilla. And it'd be pretty hard to miss being 200 foot tall. So, yeah, you could say that Godzilla has traded in his atomic breath for an atomic paintbrush. I just love like being one of these contractor guys. and like going home to your wife and kids and being asked what you did at work that day. It's like, I just cleaning the dam, honey, and just painting Godzilla, you know. Same as like if you used to like go into the kids' school to explain what you do for a living, to like when they do like Parents' Day and they come and visit and stuff like that. I just hang over dams, painting giant monsters on them, fairly normal office job. So what's really funny is I just love that they did this Godzilla, and like they were just so chill about it, and it's just something that they did. And I can actually, yeah, it's so cool. I can show you like another panned out picture just to give you the scale. Like, look how big it is. It's absolutely massive. Like, mountain for scale. No, we didn't miss your pun. That was my pun. I came up with that at the beginning. We're gonna have to roll clip and reverse, since me was stealing my jokes. I mean, yeah. I'll rewind the script. Hold on. I did mess up the beginning, so I'll redo the script. In Saga I messed it up for the third time. In Saga Prefecture, Godzilla has appeared on the side of a 190-foot tall dam, and goddamn, that's cool. I mean, that's some damn good art. I'll post the script on Discord. Hold on. There we go. Oh, it should work. I don't know why joke has. My bot has failed the chat. Will it do the? My bot is dead. Oh well. It was working perfectly fine last time. Oh well. Yeah, I blame Brittany. But here's like a better picture of where you can really zoom in and see Godzilla. Like, it's so cool that they've done like this little signpost to say like, hey, this is Saga. And like they got like city destruction in the background. Maybe if you shout at the bot. It's funny because I've changed absolutely nothing to do with the bot and it just stopped working. There is actually, you'd kind of think that they would have done a time-lapse video of like making Godzilla. Unfortunately, they didn't. They kind of just did like periodic photographs and then like a swooping drone shot. Yeah, the robot decided to take a day off. It is Saturday after all. Yeah, we'll move on from Godzilla. So, this week, Yakuza bosses have been speaking out against crime. Well, against bad crime, or at least crime they consider to be bad. So, in Japan, there's been a rise in yamibaito. It basically translates to dark part-time jobs. So essentially, these jobs are posted like anonymously on social media, offering high pay to do like a one-time job. Unfortunately, it's not the Italian job, but once people get suckered in, they then learn that the job involves committing like robbery or fraud, or even in some cases assault. So this is like pretty dark stuff. And once they kind of like roped in, if they try and back out, they then get like threatened and pressured to going through with the air quotes job. I mean, why work a 9 to 5 when you can just rob a 9 to 5, I guess. But these like are legitimate Yakuza for life people. You can see by like their crazy tats. And so like, as I'm talking about like this like criminal mob gang, you're thinking like, well, what about the police? What are they doing about these like dark part-time jobs? Well, predominantly the Japanese police have been doing a communications campaign. They've been informing the citizens about these incidents and to not get involved. But they've also had the support of the local Yakuza family, who posted an announcement at the front of their headquarters stating that, quote, the family will take strict action against such people operating in our territory. So I will translate the Yakuza corporate speak for you. Basically what they're saying is, if you mess around on our turf, you'll be sleeping with the fishes. I just love the idea of these clearly like very manly, dangerous Yakuza just harassing someone with the phrase like, hey, we're the only ones that commit crime here. Do you know what I mean? Like, I never thought I'd see the Yakuza become like the modern neighborhood watch, but here we are. I suppose times are hard even for criminal families. So, and even look at this lady. Look how mean she looks. God damn. You might be thinking to yourself like, oh, it's the Yakuza, the police. Well, like, aren't the Yakuza just gonna be behind this whole thing like anyway? But like, you really gotta remember that. Like, the dark part-time jobs, they're kind of small fry for Yakuza. Like, why rob a bank when you just own the bank? And the Yakuza are legitimately denying any involvement. Which is like, in the world of organized crime, is kind of like saying, oh, we're not at the party. We're just the bouncers. So it's hard to say whether this is genuine community service on their part or not, but you know, and whether these like crime-based side hustles are impacting their business and that's kind of prompts them to take action, we don't really know. Only time will tell. I won't be dispatching a reporter to take interviews because I suspect they'll just disappear and suddenly develop lead feet. So just remember, if you ever get offered a dark part-time job, just remember that the police might not be the worst thing to happen to you. So before you sign on with one of these like shady part-time jobs, just ask if they provide kneecap insurance. There's a guy in the previous picture hiding his face. Let's confirm. Oh yeah, this guy here is just turned around hiding his face. I don't know if that means like he has a rank that's so low that he can't be facing forward. I have no clue. Because like clearly this guy's pretty senior, but he's got no tats. Yakuza wife or the bear? Honestly, I'd probably maybe go with the bear. Like, it's one thing to be like a Yakuza man. You know, like you can probably fall into that crowd like one way or another. But to be like a legit Yakuza woman, like she's gotta be like brutal as nails. Like I think she's in. Oh no, this is a younger Yakuza lady. Oh, and here's another one. I should have looked at this. I have no clue what the distribution between male and female Yakuza members is. I suspect there's like way more men. So I actually have. Oh, let me take a drink. Hold on. I have a very minor Yakuza story that I personally experienced. So when I was in Japan, this was literally like the first week that I was there. And so I was in southern Japan and I was just kind of walking around trying to like find my... I just moved into like my apartment. And so I was just walking around the area before I started work to like try and understand the area where I lived, what people were like and stuff like that. And I just kind of turn like I go down like a few alleys because like Japan's not like rough. It's not dangerous in the sense that places in the West, for example. So I was just walking down like these various side alleys, and I was like, yeah, this is a bit rough, but this is nothing compared to like the north of England. And I turn the corner, and there's this beautiful old like Japanese like classic house, and like I see the sign, and it's got these like it's like carved into the wood, and just as a random tourist, I just like take a picture, and as I take a picture, like two guys walk out, and I'm like, oh, hello, Japanese or whatever, and then they kind of like get like a little bit mad at me, and I'm like, Nihongo wakarimasen, which basically means Japanese I don't understand. And they started laughing, and they said like in broken English, like, are you lost? And I was like, sure, whatever. And then they walked me to the end of the street and then kind of pushed me away. And I should also mention that they were wearing like vests, and they had like mad tattoos like these guys all down the arms. So I'm not convinced that it was like a Yakuza house, but it could well have been, because it's so rare for them to like have tats there. Well, so I went to Japan a few years ago now to teach English. And then once I did my time, I just came home again. They're actually like very nice, but I think part of that was because like they clearly knew that I didn't know like what I was doing or where I was. And from my understanding is that Yakuza tend to stay away from foreigners in general, particularly Westerners, because it just creates a whole lot of issues. I honestly don't find it that music. I can't hear what you're hearing. I can share my background music list later. Because on OBS I have a full track that is like 10 songs combined, and then I mute that when I'm on, so I don't hear it on stream, but you guys do, and then I hear my own different music. Have you guys never been to Japan? I imagine you want to go because it's an awesome place to go. It's actually, now's a really good time for like the last kind of year or so, because the yen has been so inexpensive. You could have like a really good holiday for not, a really good like Japan experience, but not that too much cost. Yeah, but not for work. It's actually surprisingly easy to get a English teaching job in Japan, but you need a degree at least. You're going to Japan end of next year. Nice. Do you have how long are you going for? Do you have like a full plan, like where you're going? Brittany's jealous. I'm jealous too. You'll have to brush up on your language skills in the meantime. Wow, you're going for 4 weeks. God damn. That's you can do that. Yeah, you can do so much in that time. It's like, how you've been practicing. Nice. Konnichiwa. I think it's actually not that bad to pick up the basics. What was interesting, like one of my, only the basics so far, yeah. One of my old work colleagues, he went with his wife to Japan, and he didn't speak any language or anything like that. And he came back and he was like, he's been to a few different countries around the world, and he was like, going to Japan was like going to a different planet, because you can't read, you can't write, and you can't speak. And it's so like foreign compared to like what you're used to. And I just thought that was a really interesting like interpretation. Anime helps. Thanks. I know like people like make fun of people who learn or pick up Japanese from anime, but I don't buy that at all. I think learning Japanese from anime is a really good way. It's like you pick up the speaking rhythm and like the different intonation stuff. Obviously, if you watch nothing but shonen anime, then no. And you watch Tsubasa Chronicles OVA too. We will have to circle back to that at the end. Yeah, we'll bring up more Japan stories up at the end because I have more interesting stories. Exholic next, yeah. So we'll move on to the next story for now. That's Harry Potter's sword crime in Japan. So continuing our crime spree coverage, local Muggle law enforcement in Japan have stepped in and seized the Harry Potter sword of Godric Gryffindor. So the Warner Bros. Studio tour Tokyo, the making of Harry Potter. This is kind of like a theme park that opened last year. It's kind of like a theme park / museum. Oh, and this theme park recreates various settings from the Harry Potter films, you know, like the dining hall and stuff like that. And it has like various displays of costumes and props used in the series. And obviously, there's a gift shop. In that gift shop, you can purchase a full-size sword of Godric Gryffindor for only $200. And so it's a full stainless steel sword. So kind of like a real sword. And it's like a full 34 inches. So you can see it in the movie here, and it's a legitimate sword. I'm gonna say like it's not a short sword, but it's kind of like a normal long sword, whatever. So, but because of the gift shop sword, the police found out about it, and they contacted the theme park and informed them that in the eyes of Muggle law, the sword is illegal for civilians to possess. You know, and I heard knife crime in England was bad. So Japan's firearm and sword possession control law determines what distinguishes a sword from practical use blades, you know, such as like kitchen knives, butter knives, stuff like that. And Godric's sword was just sharp enough for an intervention. I mean, you know, who knew the Japanese firearm and sword possession control law would be so controlling? So the sword was on sale for just over a year, and it was bought 351 times. And every single one of those swords is now being recalled for a full refund. But if you're a lucky foreigner and you made it out of the country in time, it's yours to keep. So whether that makes you a lucky foreigner or a smuggler, and what's funny is like, can you imagine a better item for scalpers? Like, it's absolutely red hot Harry Potter merchandise since it's now like illegal. What if they don't want to give it back? I honestly don't know. I feel like you can, like, obviously the government does not want these in circulation without a license at least, because obviously it's so it is legitimately dangerous. I just think it's like $200, you know, times 300. That's a lot of money. It also kind of like blows my mind how Warner Bros., which is this huge company, they didn't research this, they didn't have law. Look at it. They gotta go for a trip out of Japan if they don't want to give it back. Yeah. Smuggle it back in. Yes. Muggle smugglers. But it just blows my mind that this got past so many different layers and then like eventually got produced and into the public hands. It's one of the things I didn't do when I was in Japan. Like, a lot of people go and they're like, oh, I'm gonna pick up a samurai sword. Oh, I'm gonna pick up such and such thing. And like, it's legitimately difficult to purchase them. At least ones that aren't like made of, here we go, my British accent, aluminium, aluminum. You know, because those things just like break immediately, or like they're made of like wood and stuff. If you try and buy like a legitimate real one, you can't, you literally can't, because you need a license. Yeah, that was the Harry Potter sword crime. This next story, I'm gonna go on a whole bunch of personal tangents. The hardships of being British. Aluminium versus aluminum. Honestly, because I just watch so much like American engineering shows like Mythbusters, How It's Made, and stuff like that. I default to aluminum. Aluminum, yeah. Honestly, that's just my default. Aluminium, that is stupid. I'll move on to the next story because I have a ton of tangents, and I'm so keen for, and I'm keen for, chat's stories on this as well. It looks like the party's over for Japan's workplace drinking culture. A recent survey recently showed that nearly 60% of workers think that nominication, which is basically mandatory but not mandatory drinking after work, like your boss drags you out or the company forces you to go drinking when it's not like a mandatory event, but if you miss out, if you don't attend, you're kind of not treated as well, so you may as well consider it mandatory. So they're basically like totally optional but not really post-work drinking sessions, like you know, which is obviously like, so it's like we gotta drink after work. Yes, some companies do this, and it's about as welcome as your boss adding you on social media. And like, understandably, it turns out for many workers that it's not unwinding. It just feels like you're working overtime with a side of a hangover. So when asked, most staff just want to clock out and hit the sack, not the sake. And like, obviously, who doesn't relate to that? You know, like, oh, we finished work for the day, great, now I get to throw your face for the next 4 hours and not get paid for it. Wonderful. Oh great, now here comes Dave, the area manager, to tell like yet another inappropriate story because he doesn't want to go home to his wife. Lovely. So in fact, nearly 90% of the respondents said that these drinking sessions aren't necessary for keeping work running smoothly, which is kind of like their intended function, you know. And like, it's not surprising at all because alcohol won't fix the project timeline. It won't fix Karen from accounting attitude either. If anything, just makes it worse. And so what's so funny about this is that in 2020, the Japanese government was having a crisis about people drinking in Japan. Not for the reasons you might think. The Japanese government, people weren't drinking enough. They wanted them to drink more. In 2020, the alcohol tax revenue fell from 1.13 trillion yen, 1.02 trillion yen, which is basically a drop of nearly $750 million. So naturally, the campaign to drink more sparked a ton of controversy in Japan. I did submit my own marketing plan that was called "If in Doubt, Pour One Out," but that just seemed to cause more controversy. You know, I think these people just need a cool one. Yeah, so how this worked was basically you do a day's work, and you might have it in mind. You might have it in mind that that this would happen on a Friday night. That's not the case. My experience of these would be that they would happen on a Tuesday night. They would happen on a Wednesday night, Thursday, a Friday. And basically they could just happen whenever the most senior person decided that that's what they wanted to do that night. And as people who were junior to the senior, you basically have no choice. Like, if you turn it down, it's considered like really rude and impolite. particularly depending on the company you're at. Some companies might be more chill, but if it's a more traditional company, like, I'm not saying it can get you fired, but it can definitely get you in the unpopular bin. which is just not a very nice place to be. Yeah, and it is considered impolite to pour yourself a drink. Normally, if you're the junior and you're sat next to a senior, you should pour the senior's drink for them. And all that sort of stuff. So, what's really interesting about this is that I have a whole bunch of stories about people drinking at work, me being made to go out drinking after work or during work hours. So it's funny because obviously I've got this really funny picture and talking about like, oh, this is so bad, this is in Japan, and like people are pushing back against it there, but it's not like it's because of nomication. Nomi in drink means literally to drink. Nomi means to drink, and obviously the minication bit is obviously communication bit. But it's not like it's because it's a formal practice in Japan. But in like Western countries, it's not a formal practice, but it's something that kind of gets pressured on you anyway. So I actually have a bit of experience with this. So I'm trying to pick the first story to start with. So there's this one time when I was working for the government, which basically, if you're unfamiliar with my streams, that means I'm about to tell a ridiculously crazy story. So back when I was working for the government, we had a guy in my team who was in his late 50s. Now this guy, he was a nice guy at heart, but he was a natural fool. So he was really nice, he was really genuine. He was someone who he created all of his own problems in life. And so one time he had this great idea of us having a picnic by, I'm trying to not give too much away here, by a monument, shall we say. And obviously the monument is on government grounds. It's in like this nice kind of park area that was attached to the town hall. So it's a very public area. It's kind of like a park next to the town hall. And so he had this idea we should go and have a picnic there. And I was like, hey, that sounds like a good idea. How could this possibly go wrong? And so other people in the team was like, oh yeah, that sounds nice. You know, it's summertime, we'll have a picnic outside. And so various people get like takeouts and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, where's Paul? Where's Paul gone? And so everyone's kind of like getting ready to do the picnic. Everyone's like laying out the blanket and stuff like that. And then I see Paul. I see him come around the corner. And what does Paul have in two hands? He's got two trays. Two drink trays. Both of the drink trays are filled with pints of beer. And this guy, he'd gone down to the pub, which is like 5 minutes walk away, and then he'd walked all the way back carrying 15 pints of beer. His idea was for us to drink and have this picnic on government grounds right next to the town hall in like plain view of like the public, because everyone, it was a thing back then to wear your government badge outside. It was a thing that they wanted you to do. They wanted you to be visible as a public servant. So we're all wearing our badges, and he's there with all these pints of beer. And it's that moment of where like everyone just sees it happening, and they're like, well, it's already happening. We can't stop it now. So everyone just takes a beer, and we start drinking it, and then just in the corner of my eye, I just see someone taking a picture. So we're all there with our like government badges, drinking a beer next to, I won't say what monument it was, but it was a serious one. And I turned to everyone in the group and I'm like, you know we're going to be in the news, right? So the fallout that happened was we didn't appear in the news, but we did get summoned, not by the CEO, but the leading political party, shall we say, of the area, and we were made to apologize for misuse of governmental property. But like no one was reprimanded, no one got like a black mark. But like it was definitely like super awkward, and it was one of those things of where they talk to you in that as if they're like, we're not angry, we're just disappointed. It was one of those things of where like it was worth doing, it was fun. But like, you know, there's just there would have been better places to do it. And it's the kind of thing, if you would have said, oh yeah, I'm gonna get some like 10 pints, I'd have probably been like, hey, that's not a good idea. But I have unfortunately been on quite, I'll tell a fun one. I'll tell a fun drinking story instead, rather than me getting in trouble. So this is, I've mentioned my when I worked for the government, I had a really awesome manager. He was super cool and we did like a whole bunch of crazy stuff together, you know. And this one time, it was like 10 a.m. in the morning. It was a Thursday. And he came up to me and he was like, well, what are you up to today? And I was like, oh, I've got this going on. I've got this other stuff. Like, do you need me for something? So I can just like rearrange stuff. And he was like, do you want to go out? Tell them about the keys. I'll tell them about the key. Yeah, I'll bring the key story back in a bit. He was like, what are you up to? And I was like, oh, I've got this stuff on. I can like, if you need me to do something now, I can do it. What do you need? I was like, do you want to go out? I was like, well, what do you mean? He's like, do you want to go out? And I was like, so I just closed my laptop. I was like, oh, fuck it, sure. So an hour later, we were in the city centre. We completely ditched work. Like, I completely unplugged my laptop. It was in my bag. I'd left it in his car. And so now we were in the city centre playing mini golf. And then once we finished playing mini golf, we went throwing axes. And then we went and got Chinese food. And at this point, it's like 5 o'clock at night. And then we decided to go to a bar. And then I finally get home at like 8 p.m. And so that was back when I went to work at 7. So I'd be working from, normally but the hours I did was 7 a.m. until 3 a.m. And so I basically went out and had fun all day. And then he marked that as overtime for me. So basically that whole outing was paid for by work. And I didn't do any work that day. We just went out and had fun. Playing mini golf, throwing axes, getting Chinese food and drinking. I can retell the key story if you want to hear the key story. I have different government stories as well. I do have a couple more stories. Do you want me to come back to the key story? Yeah, I'd go too. Yeah, it was so fun. And he was such a good manager. Yeah, and the trampoline. That's another story. I tell you what, let me get through the news stories, and then we'll double back to additional crazy stories. What's funny is there's a snake story coming up, and I also have a snake story. We'll move on to the next one. So, just when tourists in Japan weren't getting a bad rep, we decided to double down and try again. This time, tourists were so desperate for a selfie with a Lawson's convenience store and Mount Fuji in the background that they started to hurl abuse at police, security guards, defaced public property, and ignore multi-language signs, and even like running into traffic. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, hang on, I've heard about this story at the start of the year, and I heard it once again during the summertime. It's like, well, yeah, we're here once more because people keep doing it. So you might remember that it got so bad during the summer months of various tourists trying to get this picture of, because it's a very small street, as you'll see in a moment. They erected a giant black billboard to try and block the view for safety reasons. And you can see that they're kind of like trying to build it here, and you can see like it's pretty tall. Like this whole thing is 2 meters tall. So like unless you're like a top tier NBA basketball player, there's no way you're seeing over this as a normal person. You can see that like they're trying to block the view to stop to like the street it's only 2 cars wide. It's a really small kind of country street. But here's what they actually put up. So people found that they could go up to the netting and kind of pull it apart, and then they could get like a clear picture. So you can clearly tell that highly intellectual individuals went to take a picture regardless. And you know, this is definitely some grade A unemployment behavior here. But, you know, at least it wasn't Johnny Somali. You know, Japan's free of him at least. But I don't know why people would go mad for this. Like, it's a cool, almost liminal space photograph. It's like this majestic yet dystopian. But I don't know why people are going crazy just to get this picture when there's like thousands of images of this out there already. You want me to go through that bit again? Which bit do you want me to go through? The bit where they're like erecting the wall? You're 5'2", you don't see past that black screen. I could probably put you on my shoulders and you might be able to see over it then. Basically, there's this Lawson's, which is a convenience store, and it's placed in a specific position where Mount Fuji is really visible, but the street is really small and narrow. Like it's the countryside street for a normal street. It's not like it's a big city kind of thing. And it was getting so dangerous that people were like abusing the police. They were running into traffic. It was causing such a safety hazard. They were trying to like erect defenses just to stop people doing this behavior. And it's kind of not really been effective. Snap a picture before you snap my legs. You're 5'6". Perhaps we could build a totem pole of all 3 of us. And then we can snap our own Lawson's Mount Fuji picture. Success, but at what cost? That's definitely some hilarious fan art. The void totem pole to snap a picture of Lawson Mount Fuji. But I straight up don't know why people are going mad for this, because it's like the picture's already been like it's already gone viral. I don't know what people would get from having just their version of it. You know what I mean? Like, this picture is awesome. I don't see how you can get any better than this. Like, it looks really kind of cool. I just don't get it. But speaking of unemployed behavior, this next one's crazy. So, Snakeface has been arrested. A Japanese man with a face tattoo of a snake was recently arrested after he was accusing of shoplifting and committing assault. So, the suspect, Snakeface, was chased out of the store by staff and then heroically pursued until the suspect turned around and headbutted the staff member multiple times. During the confrontation, the suspect dropped a bottle of coffee and several baked goods in the process. And when the suspect was arrested, he exercised his right to remain silent, though at least he didn't spill the beans. And whilst it might be tempting to judge a book by its cover, his neighbors in Tokyo are actually quite positive about him. So here's some quotes of what they had to say about him. "I would bump into him in the laundry room," said one neighbor. And at first I was really surprised, but when he talked, he was always soft-spoken and quite polite. Another neighbor admitted that he looked like a tough guy, but he always greeted everyone in a cheery voice, saying, "He didn't seem like a bad person, he just looked like one." So following this guy's arrest, investigations revealed that the suspect was a notorious mooch within the community. He was often harassing people to buy him a drink from a vending machine or like demanding cigarettes from people, like that. So it turns out he was a real snake in the grass the entire time. So Snakeface is currently being held and is going through like the legal process. So he hasn't been re-released into the wild yet. It is worth stating though that Japan have a 99% conviction rate. So it's unlikely Snakeface is going to slither his way out of this one. But look at him, he's clearly an upstanding individual with his chromed out teeth, you know, his mad face tattoos. A weasel team member. It's such an interesting story. Did you enjoy my puns for that one? I felt that was a strong pun delivery. But yeah, it's so wild because as I was talking earlier in stream about like the Yakuza stuff, is that tattoos are very kind of, in Japan, they're basically associated with criminals, which makes a ton of sense. You know, it's because that is the Yakuza way. So one of like a quote, I'm gonna upset people with this line. When normal people get tattoos, they often get associated with being criminals, like kind of, you know, negative people to I've got more puns coming up. But it's so funny that this guy, he has people vouching for him that he's like, he's actually like pretty nice. Except for this one time where he assaulted like a convenience store person. And if you really kind of think about this another way, if you're a minimum wage convenience store worker and this guy walks in and starts stealing stuff, would you go out and chase him down? Like, that's not something most people would do. But he was clearly known. There's kind of two options. The convenience store clerk was like, either this was his hero moment, or this guy was generally known to be like pretty decent. Brittany would chase him down. Mia was like, nah, he can take the shop. Maybe that's the difference between an American and a British person. An American's like, nah, I'd pull out my Glock. A British person is like, nah, take it all, I don't care. So I actually have another personal story about something like this. So, yeah, the difference between British and American. Yeah, you don't get paid enough for this. On that though, so back when I used to work in retail before I got into programming and streaming and stuff like that, I worked, so I was a retail manager for an independent store. And basically, I saw this happening a mile off. So we were on the high street. This was the shop, and I was inside the shop, and I saw this group of three guys walking towards the store. I am a modern day Renaissance man, so. And I saw these three guys kind of walking towards the store menacingly. And as I saw them coming, I was like, oh, I know that they've come to rob the store. So this was a few years ago, and this was before knife crime in the UK really became like a really big issue. Like these guys, they were just there to shoplift. Like that was their goal. They weren't there to like pull out knives. They weren't there to pull out guns or any of that stuff. They were just there to rob, basically. But not violently rob. They were just there to shoplift and run away. And so I see these guys, and they start crowding around some like the more expensive stuff. And I see them shoveling it into like their pockets and stuff. And so basically, I walk over and shout at them. And so they turn around, and then like one of them throws something at me. And just out of like natural instinct, I smash him in the face. And so like we start having this scuffle. The other two run away, and then I kind of like grapple the guy around. And then I just like push him out, and then I see him start to like run away, and I'm kind of like, do I chase? And I kind of like started to, but then decided, hang on, it's probably better for me to not chase them down, because someone else could just walk in and go and grab like the till with all the money in. So I got into a scuffle and decided not to pursue, because someone could have literally just come and taken all the money away. What was really frustrating was the police came later, and I was like, oh, is there anything we can do about it? Like, can we send them to jail? What can we do? What can we do about this? How do I perform my duty as a citizen? Make sure that these people don't do this again. And he's like, don't bother, mate. You're just gonna be out tomorrow. Like, I already know who did it. And I was like, well, you're fucking useless. And like, what's the point? Like, if they know that they can shoplift, then they're just gonna do it. Like, what are we even doing here? Grab a 4 pints off the shelf and dash it at him. It's just like, they maybe made off with like £100 like merchandise and a black eye. But yeah, like when you're working at minimum wage, like I was, even though I was the retail manager, it's just not worth it. Like, and that was confirmed when the police came over and they're like, oh yeah, there's nothing we can do. I was like, well, what's the point then? I might as well just let them take the store. Like, and you're unharmed. It's really interesting how people react to crime. And what I've noticed is the vast majority of people will just like say, oh, it's got nothing to do with me. Or they'll pull their phone out and take video and take pictures, but no one will actually like intervene. It's so weird, because I just went over and I immediately intervened, and like there was just like other people in the store who just like did nothing. Something I just don't get. Humans. But continuing with our crime spree once more. It's been a very crime-filled episode. I don't know why. This just what's happened this week. So, there's been a string of onion thefts. So, a Kyoto onion farmer found himself in a pickle after stealing over 200 kilograms of Korean onions from other farmers' fields. That's nearly 500 pounds of onions that this guy was stealing. And this farmer stole all of those onions over the course of a single day. So that guy moved 200 kilograms of onions in a single day. Like, that's mad effort. So if you're wondering, the total cost of this theft is only about $1,200. So why did the onion farmer steal another farmer's onions? Well, it turns out the thief who stole the onions wasn't actually that good of a farmer to begin with. He'd started his own farm in January but failed to grow the minimum amount required to supply his clients. So by August, he had already resorting to stealing another man's onions. So his motive, due to his poor financial outlook, he stated that he had gambled away and otherwise wasted much of his money. And he was afraid that he'd lose clients as a result of his poor farm management. Clearly, he didn't invest much money into pharmacology. Good luck getting that joke. With my accent. As such, to make up the deficit, he went on an onion thieving spree to fill up his stock to satisfy like his demanding customers. And you might be thinking, okay, stealing an onion farmer stealing onions from another farm. Okay, that's kind of a bit weird. But where did he get the idea from? Where did he get the idea from this in the first place? Well, as it turns out, someone did the same thing to him back in July. Someone robbed the guy who was doing the robbing. And that's what gave him the bright idea to go and steal someone else's crops in return. So the man has been charged and is looking for up to 2 years in prison for perpetuating this cycle of onion crime. Hey, who'd have thought this crime had had so many layers? Why onion? So in Japan, they have these green onions, but it's a slightly more upmarket green onion. So they're quite profitable. And so that's why he built this farm and got into it, because they're fairly easy to grow. But this guy was like messing it up clearly. And so when he had a shortfall, he just went thieving. He only got the idea because someone originally stole from him. Yeah, I am talking about you, Miwa. You and your farmer colleagues with your farmer accents. He's probably got a weasel buddy. That's his accomplice. The weasel steals the children's elementary school shoes and he steals the onions. If you missed last week's episode, that will make no sense. Last week we had a story of weasels basically breaking into a children's elementary school and stealing shoes. Yeah, they were training each other. Let's play again. I can bring it up. Give me a second. Oh, you see him behind the scenes here. Oh, hold on. Yep, there we go. Watch this. This is a weasel thief. Oh, there's the zoom in. And you can see a weasel. He's broken into the school. And he's choosing which shoe he wants to steal. And you can see off he goes. I'll try and get to the good frame. Look at him. Look at him. And then he's off. we skip through. This isn't like he didn't steal all these shoes. This is just a picture of like Crocs outside. But basically, the weasel was dropping these shoes in the principal's gaming chair. It's so wild. The weasel was stealing these shoes and kind of dropping them across the property and stuff like that. And then kind of what they discovered that the weasel was stealing these shoes. The weasel inventory. Weasel was stealing these shoes and basically using them as like materials for their nest. But we were joking last week that basically it's this weasel who's building his own like shoe cartel. So he's in line with Walmart, who's been producing these shoes. And so each time he steals a shoe, he gets a commission from Walmart. Because obviously then the parents have to go and buy more children's shoes. And what you're seeing here is the weasel's distribution point. It was hired by a shoe business, maybe a shoe competitor, and like, you know, maybe the president is in it. I keep referring to this guy as the school president when it's the school principal. It's it's actually when I was doing research for this story, it's actually pretty common for this to happen. The pink scare bunny, yeah. Let me try and find the exact frame. Oh, I missed it. If I click off, I lose the thing. Hold on. Let me see if I can get a better shot. There we go. Brinny said this was the bunny scarecrow to keep away the weasels. Scare bunny. I wish we had cool stuff like this in Western schools. Yeah. The scare bunny didn't have much effect on the weasel. Maybe they were in it together. I'll go back. So we've got one final story, and I was talking about how the drinkable mayo wasn't for me. This next one I'm mixed on, but I'm curious about your take, because I think this one's interesting. And I don't know if I would try it, because it's kind of disgusting, but apparently the reviews are quite strong. So let's get to it. So Japan is a place known for unique takes on food. We covered earlier in the show the drinkable mayonnaise, and today we have cold ramen in a can. So for only $4, you too can experience the taste of disappointment and self-loathing. Now I said that, but the reviews for this have been surprisingly positive. People have been commenting that the noodles aren't soggy, that they're actually springy. So, like, this doesn't do a great deal of justice. Let's take a look at the actual can of ramen. Now, hey, this doesn't look that bad. This looks surprisingly decent, right? It looks nothing like you expected. And to be honest, I expected it to look like dog food. And it's even got a really big slice of pork in it. And like, the more I look at this, the more impressed I am. You can kind of see like that classic ramen brothy look. It genuinely looks kind of appetizing. Let's take a look at another picture. And it also comes with a quail egg. So apparently, upon opening the can, you're hit with a rich, meaty aroma. And then taking a sip of the broth has both a delicious flavor that's sweet and slightly spicy for a robust beef stock. Hashtag not an ad. Unfortunately, this isn't available everywhere across Japan. It's only in a few select places. But who knows? Like, cold noodles could be coming to a vending machine near you soon. And it's only 161 calories. You know, so they're clearly onto a winner here. It's a hard no for Miwa. Honestly, I don't think this looks that bad. You know, like, if you go look at the other ones, they got surprising quality to it. It must have other flavors. I think just for now, they've just done like this plain, it's not plain. They've just done this beef pork ramen. But if it's a success, I can imagine them introducing more flavors. It's quite expensive at like $4 for what it is. But like, I would have this over a pot noodle any day. I think this looks way nicer. It'll have like a way nicer flavor. It's got like a strongy beef meat flavor. The noodles look good. Like you'd think they'd be really soggy, but no. You as a chef for 3 years. Oh, we'll dig into that soon. Chef and a farmer. Anything processed in a can. Yeah, for real. Yeah, the fact that it's in a can does turn me off a lot. It's like I wouldn't seek this out, but if it's like 2 a.m. and you're really hungry and there's nothing else out there, like I'd trust this. I'd trust a Japanese vending machine more than I would trust an English kebab or an English gas station like pasty. Your cooking skills slap. You'll have to be provided with evidence. It works. Yeah, this absolutely works the best at 2 a.m. Yeah, I would struggle for this to make sense at like 6 p.m. in the evening. But I think at 2 a.m. this looks real convincing. And like, you know, you get like a full slice of pork and you get a quail leg. And it's only $4. Like at 2 a.m. this is a banger deal. British kebabs could be considered a suicide attempt. Oh no, I said the S word on stream. There goes monetization. It's real though. What was so funny? So when I was in Oxford at university, I had a guy in my class who'd come all the way from Australia. And so we were out probably like 1 a.m. and we walked up to like a kebab place and I looked at it and I was like, dude, do not. The meat looks like corrugated cardboard. Do not buy this. And so he buys it and it's like, it's alright this. It's alright this. And then like an hour later he was being sick. Oh no. When I was at Oxford, that was a slip. When I was at a normal university, yeah, that's where I did my masters. It's a really nice city. What's so funny about Oxford, right, is that when people see it on TV or in media, they see the Harry Potter Hall, they see the really kind of classical places where Tolkien was, where C.S. Lewis was. What's really funny is you see those camera shots, and then literally if you just tilt the camera 5 degrees left or right, you see like a KFC, a McDonald's. Too late, Mr. Pish Posh. Yeah, I am pretty close to the farmlands in Oxford, or in Oxfordshire. I can't do a farmer's accent. But yeah, that was This Week in Japan, the crazy stories. I'll transition to the bedroom scene. Hold on. Oh, let me walk in. There we go. Yeah, we got a very diverse stream today. I think I fairly recently I discovered that my my viewership is I'm quite popular in Singapore. Yeah, I found Miwa wandering the streets of Twitch. And then I captured her and brought her on stream. Yeah, so Brittany is stray Miwa. Yeah, so Brittany is my producer. I don't know when I think I literally started streaming, and that's when Brittany messaged on. I think that's how it went. It's coming up to my 7th week of streaming. Too much credit. Yeah, I come up with crazy ideas. And I spam them to people. How was my this week in Japan news one? How did it compare to last week? This week I tried to be a little bit more scripted and had like kind of more straightforward jokes. Last week it was like way more improv. The producer. See, what's funny? It's actually more content. Like the stream lasted longer. I know I did have some stories that I cut, purely because I was with the other stories that I had, and there's probably like 5 or 6 stories. It's the time I need to kind of make them funny, because I went through how many stories? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stories, and they take like 15 minutes each. Kind of like do something with them, and that was so much time. And you know, it's difficult to kind of be funny. Like if this was like take off, then I would probably try and do something like this twice a week and put way more time in. It's definitely like my funnest stream. I think the gaming ones are fun, but they're just chatting. They're always fun, and the stories are funny because the stories are crazy. Because what comes out of Japan is always a little bit wild. I asked you to sing. I don't remember this. Where was this? Nah, karaoke streams are not an option. Last stream. I think I mentioned last stream, or is it some other stream? That I was so I used to be in a touring band as the lead guitarist, and I did a little bit of backing vocals, but I never went into the studio to do vocals. That wasn't my thing. I have always wanted to learn how to sing real. What's funny is my talking voice is higher than my singing voice. I must do something weird when I'm speaking like a normal person. I must do something weird when I'm speaking like a normal person. What an oxymoron. But when I sing, my voice is way deeper than my speaking voice. For some reason, I must be quite nasally when I speak in my normal voice. Sing. It's too difficult for me to find a song, hook it up to OBS, and do we'll do a karaoke stream at 100,000 subs, of 100,000 followers, whatever. One of my other new followers, Count Dice, last week, they were like, "Oh, you should do a singing stream." I have noticed that so as a Hololive enjoyer, that these singing streams are very big for them, and obviously they're very big in Asia in general, but in the West it's kind of like not. Karaoke isn't like such a big deal. Yeah, when I was in Japan, karaoke did make me feel awkward. Tell her about the trampoline. That made me laugh so much I peaked my mic. Yeah, so back when I worked for the government, it is such a meme for me. There was this time that so when I worked for the government, I worked in kind of like a mixed role as general problem solver, but also data analyst and like general IT person. And as part of it, for some reason, I also looked after a number of buildings, because that's what was my manager's primary job, was assets and IT, and assets obviously means buildings and computers and stuff like that. And this one day I get a call from the CEO, and I pick up the phone, I'm like, what have I done now? And she says like, you've not put me on speaker. And I was like, no, of course I wouldn't put you on speaker. Like, what are you doing right now? And I was like, oh, I'm doing such and such thing. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna tell you something, but you can't respond to it. You can't repeat it. I'm just gonna tell you something, and then I need you to go and take care of it. And I was like, oh, okay, this is weird. She killed someone. I have to bury the body. Is that what's going on? And he says, okay, right. So, situation is this. One of our buildings is being broken into by teenagers. And I was like, okay, well, why don't you just call the police? Why are you calling me? And she was like, well, they've been jumping over the barbed wire fence. And I was like, how do you jump over a barbed wire fence? And I was like, what is this? And she was like, okay, but you cannot repeat this out loud. They've stolen a trampoline from a local house. They've moved the trampoline, and they've been using the trampoline to jump over the barbed wire fence into the building. So I need you to go down to that building, get the kids out, and make the trampoline disappear. And you cannot tell anyone about this. I just need you to go and take care of this. And so I grabbed my manager, because what are you up to? And I was like, well, at the time, this is when I was driving. Do I reveal what car I was driving? Basically, I had a car that was not suitable for transporting a trampoline. So my manager had a big SUV. And I was like, dude, come listen to this. My Tesla. Nah. What I had was, at the time I had an Audi TT, and it was the sport version. And it had red leather seats. I'm very proud of it. I was very proud of it. I sold it a few years ago. And so I had this sports car, and so there's no way that I'm getting this involved. So I got my manager. And it's cool for him to be involved, because he's also dealt with these shady activities as well. And so we go down, and we literally see the kids on the trampoline hopping the fence. And so like I get out of the car and I start shouting at them. And so like the kids who hadn't made the jump, like literally they just ran off in any random direction. And so they run off, and I get to the trampoline, and like my manager like walks up next to me. And I look at him, and we look at the kids who are on the other side of the barbed wire fence. And I look at my manager and go, I think I've just seen the embodiment of stupid. Because they've jumped this fence, right? But they've got no way of jumping back over the fence. The trampoline's a one-way ticket. So like, eventually, those kids would have realized, or these teenagers would have realized that they had gotten in, but would not be able to get out. And so the whole thing was it was an abandoned building for various different reasons, probably to do with like asbestos and like stuff like that. It's a really dangerous site for them to be on. So we had to like open the gate, break the lock, get them out. But the police were also called. Basically what happened in the end was the police detained the kids, and the parents had to pick them up and all that stuff. They weren't charged. Like, this is a really bad idea. Like, don't do this. But the police were like, can you dispose of the trampoline? And I was like, what do you want us to do with this trampoline? Shouldn't we like try and find out where it came from? And the police guy was like, well, if you find out where it's come from, but you'd have to take it back to that home anyway. And I was like, well, what are we gonna do? Put it over the roof of the car? Like, as part of my tools, I often walked around with an axe. It was in my like bag. It wasn't like I wasn't wielding it like a Viking. So I say to Kevin, I was like, do you have anything to deal with the trampoline? And he was like, no. And I was like, well, I do have my axe. So we let the police drive away, and then I went at the trampoline with an axe. And so that was me like splitting the trampoline bit and like basically cutting through like the metal outer ring, just because we needed to like get rid of this trampoline. Like, it could not exist and still be in the vicinity. It's not something we could legally leave. Like, I smashed up this trampoline, and then we just kind of like shoved it in like the hedgerow and then drove off. Basically, that's the trampoline story. I have a whole bunch of weird government stories that you just won't believe because they're so weird, and it's the only job I've had where it's so surreal. It was literally like being in Parks and Recreation. That is what working for the government legitimately is like. It's so... You come across people like Ron Swanson and stuff like that all the time in government. It's absolutely wild how accurate that show was. And it's also why it's so funny. A runaway gazebo. Climb a fence, retrieve and dispose. So you're a gazebo assassin. Is that what you're admitting to now? You'll have to tell that story when you start streaming. I imagine it would be difficult to convey to chat. Yeah, I've definitely done a lot of weird stuff at work. Gazebo farmer assassin. You've never watched Parks and Recreation? Let me pull up Wikipedia. Parks and... Yeah. The paste in chat. It's like Parks and Recreation was a US sitcom, and it was about people working in is it local government? I think in England there's a lot of, oh well, we've just got to make do. We've just got to make this work. And so you end up being put in like really weird positions of where you just do random stuff. Like, there's this time I feel like when I'm telling these stories, it's like, oh, that time back at band camp. An American Pie reference. Like, when I worked for the government, I did a whole bunch of weird stuff. Like, there was a time where I put Wi-Fi in a pool. There was a time when I found a prison, an underground prison at the bottom of the building. There was a time when I was in a server room and someone walked in and started unplugging the servers, and I just thought they were an employee, but no, they were just a crazy person. And I told you how we ditched work and went throwing axes, drinking, playing golf. Yeah, when I moved into software engineering, the stories fall off completely. Mostly because I was working completely remote, and like you just don't have that wacky like office interaction. Yeah, it don't like probably the reason I worked for the government for so long, which is 5.5 years. The reason I probably stayed was because one, I had a great manager, and we did and we just did fun stuff like a lot of the time. It was always interesting, like, and people always wanted stuff, or they wanted weird stuff, and I had to like solve that problem. Yeah, there's this one time like a burning build burnt down, and I was there with the firemen. There was one time where I worked with the firemen with drones. That was really cool. That's not a funny story. It's just really cool. You'll have to. What was it like working as? Was it chef? I'm gonna have to scroll through chats. Because what's it like working as a chef? I imagine it'd be really stressful, is it? Just saying, jump on, keep you entertained. I can do. I do have Discord voice set up. If you want to share random stories. You have to. That's like what it's like working as a chef. That's not something. It was fun but really stressful. Yeah, I imagine it was. And like all the people that I've met who've worked as chefs or cooks or whatever, like they always end up putting on like lots of weight as well, which makes the whole thing even more stressful. Like I couldn't imagine going to culinary school. I do want to do eventually, like at some point, have like a real cooking class. I think that'd be really neat to kind of pick up that skill. It's not that I can't cook, it's that it'd be nice to pick up some of the like professional skills to make cooking better, particularly like the knife skills. Like most people are pretty dangerous with a kitchen knife. What's your cooking like, Brittany? Are you a secret master chef or? I tend to be good at cooking, but pretty not good at baking. No, you can't cook. What's the most complicated thing you can cook? Because I can cook like really healthy meals. Like I can do like blackened grilled salmon. Open YouTube first and follow the tutorial. Mew is too good for MasterChef. I'm trying to think of a way to improve your cooking prowess. Cooking lessons can give me some. I do think that'd be really a fun collab stream. Have you ever seen that in Hololive there's a streamer called Hachima, and he's known for being eccentric and weird, and he did a cooking stream. Oh god. She did a cooking stream that involved a dead tarantula, and like she ate it. It was so disgusting, absolutely hideous. But that's what I think of with cooking collabs. Your survival skills are 1 out of 100. What? Survival skills 1 out of 100. Art skills 100 out of 100. Just took all of the points out of survival. I can set it up. It would be... I would need to work this out. Yeah, Brittany's not a fan of voice calls. Yeah, I have no idea what Brittany sounds like. If you... how do I do this? Brittany's getting the voice changer prepared. That's Joyington sounds like Darth Vader, is that? No, I don't need that. Just sound like Darth Vader. Just sound like Darth Vader naturally. Then is. Oh, you've not seen Star Wars, have you? Remembered. You obviously you know who Darth Vader is and all that though. Yeah. Star Wars is really hard to recommend nowadays because all the new stuff is absolutely awful. I swear I bring this up like once a stream of how much I hate Disney Star Wars. What's really funny is Elon Musk. You should try One Piece. One Piece is just, it's so long. There's so many episodes. And I'm still burnt out from watching all of Naruto multiple times over. Do you know what I mean? It's so hard to get into a show that you know just has so much content. Yeah, it's something about One Piece that's never really appealed to me either. Is get it, but it's worth it. Have you seen all of Naruto? Are there One Piece animation on hold for 6? Is there lots of fillers in One Piece? Because like in Naruto, there's just an ungodly amount. Yeah, I've sent you a friend request on Discord, and I think that's the best way. So if you accept that, you can try the voice. Getting popcorn. Is that mayonnaise flavored popcorn? You got bored after 100 Naruto episodes. Yeah, that makes sense. It's challenging to watch Naruto because you're not clear on. There's some really good episodes, but it's just so. Naruto is frustrating because there's so many fillers. And like, there's definitely someone that has made like, oh, skip all these episodes. But you're still going to be watching hundreds and hundreds of episodes. It might work. We will find out. So let me. This is me working out Discord. Let's see. I will mute myself on Discord so then you can just hear the stream. I don't know if you can hear me. I can't hear you at least. And she hung up on me. Oh, I'm not even piping it through. Hold on, I have to do some. Oh, hello. Hold on, let me do some jiggery. Because I've set it to. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you? Hold on.
Wait, I can't. Hold on.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I muted myself on Discord so you don't hear me through stream.
Oh.
And
I'm sitting here thinking it was just me. One sec. Which one are we in?
what are you talking about?
Like, 2 seconds. My sister's talking to me. I'm on the phone quick. I'll be in a minute. Ask which thing we're going to be in.
Okay, yeah, you can
find
hear
out
her
and let me know.
clearly nice. I have to.
Sorry, no, I'm in like a really bad area. Do I sound like a farmer to you though?
No, you sound fine. Can you hear me?
Thanks. Yes, I can.
Yeah. Do you want me to mute my Discord, or are you listening to the stream as well?
No, I've come off the stream for a minute because I can't do both.
Yeah, right, that's fine. let me turn down my own music. But no, yeah, surprisingly you don't sound like a farmer. So Discord is so confusing with managing like user volume. How does it feel to hear two British accents now? Did we sound like wildly different? We're literally from, yeah, I think she's having connection issues. Yeah, we'll wait for her to try and drop back in. But you heard her briefly. Did you hear like a significant difference between our accents in the brief moment?
Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
It goes so quiet, so I can't tell.
Oh, it's yeah, it'd be like the inbuilt noise suppression, that sort of stuff.
Oh, okay. That's fine. No, the second I literally mentioned it, my sister turned around to me and asked me to take her to watch a movie. So I was just like, oh, well, I can't be bothered to sit through trailers anyway. So
yeah.
I'll pop out for a minute and I'll just go on a call.
What would you even go and watch? What is it? Is it Wicked? I guess that's the only thing that's going on right now.
No, okay. You can't laugh at me.
Go on.
I wanted to watch Moana.
Oh, right.
So I'm currently at the cinema watching Moana.
Cinema being theatre for our American viewers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're watching Moana? Like, how is that possible?
Give me 2 seconds. Hold on a sec. I'm being disrupted.
Yeah. I've never watched Moana.
Stay there 2 seconds.
Sorry?
2 seconds. Give me a sec. 1 minute. Thank you. Okay.
I've only
fine.
seen bits and pieces of Moana. I've never seen the full thing.
What do you mean? How can you not have seen it?
Because it's just
We'll see you up there.
not something I would go out and choose to watch. Yeah, Brittany's never watched
It's
it
just one
either.
of those things. It's just one of those things, you know. You just if it's on TV, you just watch it. Same with like Barbie. I'd sit there and watch Barbie.
No, but that also assumes I watch TV, which I've literally not done for like 10 years.
But you're telling me you're not a Barbie fan either then?
No, those weren't the toys that I played with.
No, not about that. The story I was trying to tell you, this gazebo thing.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah, go on.
Oh my god, it was awful. So I was literally supposed to be at work for like 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, I think it was, and I got this call from my sister, and it was in the summertime, but it was like really windy, and she asked me where the gazebo went. I went, oh, I thought you put it down yesterday. She was like, no, I haven't touched it. I said, well, a gazebo is not just going to grow legs and walk away. So I literally look out, like we live in like a 3-story house. So I look out my window and we have like a fence that separates the car parked and like another house, and it's got like a middle bit in between. This gazebo, and it's huge. It flew. It must have flown over in the night or something, and it landed in someone like over this fence in like this little alleyway bit, and it was like the stinger nettles down there was like the same height as me, so I had to go
yeah.
smacking these stinger nettles down to try and get to this gazebo. I managed to get to it, and I had to. It was all obviously it was all like broken, and this flew over a car park. So I'm like extremely lucky that no cars got damaged. But I'm supposed to be at work in like an hour, so I'm having to do this, and then I'm covered. By the time I get back out, I'm covered in like stinger nettles and stuff. And I'm walking back out with half a gazebo, and like honestly,
the other half just stranded, just in pieces at the other side of the car park.
yeah, it was the funniest and most painful experience ever, because I'm just walking out with all these stinger nettles wrapped around my legs.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was horrific. Honestly, it was awful.
Yeah.
But the amount of it's so I'm like one of 5, and I just seem to be always the one who has to go and do the hard stuff. That's annoying.
Well, it's because you're the middle child.
That's
You do all the heavy lifting. You're not senior enough to command, but you're not junior enough to be given a free pass.
No, I'm just like, if there's something that needs to be done, just get the middle one to do it, because she don't matter, Just get her to do it.
So I have a brother. Do you think I'm the oldest, or do you think I'm the younger one?
I don't know. Older.
Nah, I'm the younger one.
You seem more mature.
Yeah.
More
yeah,
mature,
Brittany knows.
Not me. I'm literally somewhere in the middle. So
yeah.
I should have made you guess instead of just telling you.
Yeah,
So
but it's
that's-
different. You have 5 siblings, right? So that's a lot of siblings.
Including myself,
Yeah.
It's still a lot though. It is still a lot. And we're all like between, well, my youngest one, she's like really young, but like the rest of us, we're all like between 20 and 30.
40.
So
yeah.
I'm just like slap bang in the middle. And yeah, it's not the greatest, I get blamed for everything, I get forgotten, so.
Yeah, because I'm 7 years younger. So I'm probably similar as well. Like my brother is always way older.
Right, okay. Yeah, no, the age gap between me and my youngest is like, God, how old she is. Do you see that? 9 years.
Yeah, which is quite a lot.
And then the rest of us are like, yeah, it is a lot, but she's like, she's sort of, sounds awful, like a last minute decision. My mum was just like, right, I'm gonna have 4 kids around the same age, and then like 9 years later, she's just like, oh, you know what? I might go again, just one more time, just to see what happens. Oh, big mistake. No, I'm joking.
do you have all sisters then, or are you sisters and brothers? Yeah.
No, I have my oldest sibling's is my brother, and then I've got 4 sisters.
Wow.
3 sisters.
Feel sorry for him.
He's really disappointed. Yeah. Every single time my mum was like, I'm pregnant. Apparently he cried when he found out it was a girl. But he's having his own baby now. So he's got a little boy coming along, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
He said that he could have probably, if he found out it was another girl. But yeah. Nah.
How are you?
It's all right.
Yeah. How are you finding the accents, Brittany? Because you've literally got essentially polar ends of England. Like I can seriously tell you're like a proper Londoner.
What, me?
Yeah, you've definitely got that London.
I don't think I do. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have said to me, which is really strange. And how I said that I could do like a good Australian accent. Some of the stuff that I say.
Yeah, Brittany says she can't understand everything.
I'm not doing it. It's too soon.
Yeah, the Scottish accent, the Australian accent.
Yeah, we can save this for next time, because I'm in a public place. I'm not embarrassing myself like that. But
like, it's gonna be because Brittany won't know who this person is, but you might, and I'm interested to see how you will react. You sound like Lily Allen.
Oh my god, no.
See, you even said the phrase, which is one of her songs.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she's got
What
"Oh My
song?
Gosh," "Oh My Gosh" on her second album. Is it?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Do you know what? When you said as well about the Oxford thing, in my head I was just like, I went to Oxford. You know?
Yeah, I knew as soon as I said it. That's why I regretted it, because that's exactly what people go to. But people don't realize that I was the poor
Here's
kid
me.
around like around all the rich kids.
Here's me going to like community college, and you're like, yes, I went to Oxford, and I'm just like, I went up the road.
Yeah, yeah. It's why I try and not say it, because it comes with a ton of like connotations, as if I'm streaming wearing a monocle, you know.
No, it's funny. It's funny as well because it's just like when you know what it's like there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just funny. It's like personally, I don't like, you know, when you just like, because you hear it's people think that it's really I feel like a lot of people either think that it goes like two ways. So either it's really, people think we're like dogs, yeah, like really chavvy, or they think we're really posh. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know.
So
what you mean.
it's either like we talk like we're royalty, or we talk like we're from the streets.
Common. Yeah.
And there's no like in between. And it's just like when you're actually here, it's, you know, it's like a bit of both. And I
try
don't know,
being
it's
a
so
northerner.
hard to explain.
they all just think
No
you're
way.
the peasant.
Honestly, I couldn't. That's just something. No, I've literally like I've struggled like for so long. There's a lot of people that I know don't even live in the same country as me.
Yeah.
So when I talk to people, because personally, I find my own voice annoying, and I don't think I'm the only person that says that.
Oh yeah.
Or thinks that.
Yeah, like when it's what held me back from streaming for a long time, and then I just started doing it. And when I was watching my VODs, I was like, oh, I'm actually not that annoying. I thought it was way more annoying.
You think? No, I'm joking. No, but it's like that as well. Do you know what I find too? Is, you know, when you listen to like American or Canadian or any other sort of streamer who has that sort of accent, and then you sort of listen to yourself and you're like, wow, that sounds so much better like when you're not British.
Yeah, it's funny because they probably think the same. Like, I don't know how Brittany feels being like American, and then she's hearing my voice pretty often. And then like I don't know if she's like, oh, that's such a cool accent, I hate my American accent. Then obviously the inverse is like, oh, American accent so natural almost, because it's just like the majority of content.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's just annoying because I feel like when I listen to, not all, but there are just some, and I don't know if they're like genuinely just boring or if it's the voice. And it's so hard to tell the difference. Then it makes me feel anxious because I got like a hella bad anxiety. So when I listen to myself, I'm like, damn, I sound so monotone. Like, who's gonna want to listen to me?
I think it's practice, and Brittany is saying she can't understand you.
What, she can't?
No, not really.
Okay. I
think,
speak robotic?
No, I think what it is, and I had this problem when I started streaming, is that
it's you, isn't it? She's used to your voice, not mine.
Yeah. It's probably easier to hear a deeper voice in a weird accent than a higher pitched voice as well, I bet. But
does this mean I'm gonna have to go deeper?
Yeah. Get a voice changer going.
Let me just get my my voice thing, and I'll just make my voice much deeper for you.
Yeah, I think it's when I first started streaming, I would speak normally. So like if we weren't streaming and we were having like a normal phone call, let me try and turn it off. I'd be speaking much quicker, kind of like I'd be speaking now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But when you start streaming, particularly with like our accent, you kind of learn, oh, I should speak a little bit slower and like enunciate a little bit better.
I speak fast? Do I speak quick?
It's because you're speaking to someone with a familiar accent, and you're not streaming.
Right.
So you
Yeah, I
slip
guess.
into conversation mode versus. Obviously, there's not a great deal of difference. You, if you go too quick, people just don't pick it up.
Oh no. So I'm gonna have to slow myself down, put me on slow mo because I talk really quick.
I do as well.
I
And
know,
it's
I know I have to slow down, but
I don't
know
it's
how
wild.
much.
Yeah, when you watch your own streams, be like, even I can't understand what I'm saying.
Oh no. You know what I'm gonna do now? Is I'm gonna have to rewind this back just to listen to myself and just be like, oh my god, never again.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I've got your voice
maybe never.
balanced right. It looks right, but you never know until you go to the VOD.
If you've put like a proper northern farmer accent on my voice later and I watch this, I will make my way down. Not northern,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. I'll make my way up north to just
Up
fight
north,
you.
yeah. We'll have to start working in some northern slang, you know, like I and all that sort of stuff.
I feel like I'm sort of used to it. I used to go up like, I mean, I used to have friends sort of up that way, and I've been.
I used to have friends
I've been up there.
and sentence.
Huh? What? But no, I used to have friends from like obviously not exactly the same, but friends from Leeds and Manchester. Do you remember this? I don't know if you're gonna know him. Do you remember? Oh, can I say his name? I can, can't I? I'm really not used to like this sort of stuff. Do you remember that Nathan Grisdale?
The name is
don't know if you
familiar,
remember him.
but I'm. If you're asking me about modern social stuff, I'm gonna draw a blank for most of the time.
Oh my god, he's literally from your place, from where you live. And
I'm gonna have to Google.
no, but to be honest, he was one of those where he was like a rising artist. But I was
right.
before, like years ago, I was just speaking to this person, and I found out that he was like best friends with this artist who was like again, he was like rising at the time. He doesn't make art, sort of do music anymore because he did something bad. But
Right. I am gonna have
but yeah,
to
I found
Google
out, and I didn't meet him thankfully. But when I went up there, and he was just like, oh yeah, he's my friend, and he was on the phone, and I'm just like, oh my god. And I didn't really know how to act. And then I think after that, I sort of went home because the guy I was with, he sort of seemed really snobby. And I was just like, right, I don't like this. It's the first time I went up to that place. The first time I went there. And I was stuck there. And it took me 4 hours to drive it in the evening because it's just long. And he was just an arse. And so was the other person. And then I'm not even joking. I went home the next day and we never spoke ever again. It's not like he even tried to reach out either. I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm done. That's fine by me though, because now I don't have to travel 4 hours.
Yeah.
100%. Wash the hands. I just couldn't go. Never ever again.
So that's the tale of your northern adventure.
Oh, I haven't really been. I went to Yorkshire once. I went there with a friend, and I was in school, and I went there with a friend, and she told me, oh yeah, she was like, come away with me for like 3 weeks to my nan's.
Yeah.
She was like, it's gonna be great. There's beaches, it's this, it's that, it's so good.
I already
I've never
know
been
how
up
the
there,
story
right?
ends.
I went there for a week. Okay, I came back after a week. We got there, and it was in a tiny caravan. I had to sleep on the sofa. My back was killing after a 1 day. I'll slow down. I realise I'm talking too fast. So yeah, we stayed in a caravan, and I stayed there for a whole week. And I said to her, because I said, when are we going to the beach? Because typically, you know what we're like, if there is a beach, you know, you're satisfied, because just England is just shit for the weather. So you try to make the most out of it, hence why you go on holiday. And I went, and she was like, oh, we're not going to the beach this week, we're going to go next week. And then she said the beach is like Scarborough or something, I can't remember.
Right.
She was like,
Jesus, that's going to be cold.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. She said it's going to be like an hour and a half drive.
Yeah.
I said, what? And I'm not joking. We were slap bang in the middle of nowhere. All you could
Yeah.
smell was poo.
Yeah,
And-
that's an English beach for you.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, looking out the caravan window and just seeing,
Yeah.
just a huge expanse of grass. That was my beach for an
Yeah.
entire week.
I've never
And then
done
she
that.
thought it was a. Huh?
I've never done the caravan stuff. You could not pay me.
It was awful. I've been in so many like UK holidays. I've never left the country, so
Really? Yeah, I suppose
yeah, I
for
don't even
Brittany, you can think of this as like a trailer park that people pay to go and visit.
yeah. But you know what? I was actually hoping to talk to you about this because I was going to say, those kids entertainment, like all inclusive UK holidays, where they have like
center parks and whatever.
Yeah, but basically like Butlins and can I say that?
Yeah.
I don't know what I can and can't say.
I know it's weird, isn't it?
You're taking the piss.
But yeah, and I just remember going to places like that, and we went. You know how they like do the karaoke's?
Oh, just Tamari joined chat. She said, "Knock knock."
Oh.
Oh.
No, and when we went there, I don't remember how old I was. It was a while ago, and I went, and when you can do like the karaoke's to mess around, and my sister like peer pressured me into trying to do it. I've never done it because I'm, and I went up and I was singing. I forgot what song it was. It was by Beyonce. Anyway, I sang it. And then they came up to me and was like, "We want you to come back next year." And I looked at my mum and I went, "Absolutely not." I'm just like, no way. They wanted me to go back in the competition. And I said to my mum, "There is absolutely no way I'm coming back here." I said, "Let's leave." I can't be dealing with it. So, yeah, that was horrific. But
those stories
I don't
always
know.
end the exact same way. Never works out as you think. Like trusting people like that.
Yeah, my superstar dream didn't come true because I was too scared.
Yeah, those are.
But yeah.
I think
It was
everyone has
sad.
those experiences and then you don't do them again.
No, never again. I don't think I went on holiday after that. It gave me like PTSD. But
Yeah.
I don't remember. Did you say that you do slightly longer streams on Saturdays?
Well, I normally wrap it up within like
Am I
the next
making
10
that?
minutes.
Oh, okay, that's fine because I should probably go because I'm being shouted at.
Right. Okay, cool. I'll catch you later then.
Um,
Enjoy watching Moana.
Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah. All right, cool. I'll catch you later
But
then.
yeah, it's all right. I'll talk to you some other time.
Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you for
Yeah,
coming on the show.
it's all right. Have a good stream.
All right, thank you. All right, I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Me turn my music back up. So we were just doing something super random. So on this stream, what I normally do is on my Saturday stream I do. Let me pull it up. Give me a sec. So on Saturday stream, I normally do this show, kind of called This Week in Japan. Raving right. No, she's not my girlfriend. She's just a viewer, and she's eventually going to be streaming soon as well. But on Saturdays, I do a show called This Week in Japan, where I cover like crazy news stories that came out of Japan this week. And basically, once I run through these different news stories and like jokes I have prepared, I turn it into like a chatting stream. My model is looking nice. Oh, thank you. Let me see if I can do the old wink. There we go. Oh, can I do the left wink? It's harder for me to do. There we go. Cool name, by the way, Tamari. Is that from Naruto? Did you make it yourself or did you commission someone? No, I just it's just a pre-made model. So I was searching for models to purchase online, and I found this on Etsy. So my model's really nice and fluid. I'm really happy with the design, but it's a pre-made model that I bought for $15. So it's a really inexpensive model, really. Yeah, from Naruto, nice. I'll switch to the drinkable mayo. What did you think of Boruto? Because I've watched all of Naruto Shippuden a few times, but I kind of like got bored of Boruto, and I ended up dropping it after 70 episodes or something like that. Yeah, I think what is it? I got up to the Boruto movie after Boruto kind of goes down the back path. Some people like to watch it. Yeah, I've definitely heard a lot of mixed things about Boruto. You like to watch it? That's good. I think I just got burnt out. I think because I've watched all of Naruto multiple times. Yeah, no worries, Miwa. So that was who you just heard speaking, Tamari, by the way. Yeah, I think Boruto has some really cool ideas. It does some really... Go ahead. Say 3, 2, 1. Oh, nice. Thank you. I'll take you for a drive as recompense. There we go. What do you think of my driving scene? Let me... No alert. Oh, is it alert? Ah, yeah, my streamer bot died very early on in the stream, and I've not been able to fix it. Yeah, I got the follow alert. Thank you very much. Yeah, I do have a bot that I've made, but for some reason it just died as soon as the stream started. It was literally perfect last stream, and I had it set up so you could do like cool stuff, but it just straight up broke. I have no idea why. It's something I'll be messing with tomorrow, no doubt. But it's frustrating because like I had a whole bunch of jokes in the chat bot. Focus on you. I think Tamara is trying to make you jealous. I'm not too sure what's happening. Focus. I have to what is it, Tamari's power? It's wind jutsu. I forget the technical term. It's been so long since I watched Naruto. Tamari is an interesting character to pick up as the favorite one. Like I definitely, if you can't pick like Sasuke, Naruto, and the main ones, I'd definitely pick Shikamaru. You know, the shogi genius. First tell you which one do you like more? What are my options here? Well, you Chibi are a normal 2D model. If I'm just saying, I'd normally prefer like a normal 2D model. if you're just saying like, oh, if I have to pick one, I think it really depends on the streamer. I've seen some chibi streamers on Twitch, and if they have like the voice and like the energy for chibi, then I think it works really well, and I think people should lean into that more because there isn't that many of them. 2D suits my voice more. Or do you mean a normal one? Yeah, I think so too. I don't think I can pull off cute type characters. I think I'm better off with more kind of jokey and like slightly more mature. So I'm probably better off with like normal stuff. Now focus again. I feel like I'm becoming the Karate Kid, like wax on, wax off. I just finished playing that. Was it Karate Survivor last week? Jackie Chan, a Vampire Survivor game. I've got some ideas for your 2D model related. Sure, hit me. Sure. What am I up to with my Twitch achievements for my 7 followers? Yeah, I've been trying to get, what is it called? I always confuse Twitch partner and Twitch. I always forget which is which. Affiliate. There we go. Yeah, for affiliate, I need to. That's what I'm aiming for. I was hoping to get it before Christmas. I don't think it'll happen. It's boosting up to 50 followers and like the average view. That said, I've only been streaming. You've missed up yet, Jack? Oh yeah, if you find them worth it for your channel, be willing to consider drawing. Sure. Yeah, I've mostly been trying to focus on growing the channel before like committing money to it. I feel it's quite easy to keep spending money on the stream. Yeah, find me on. I was gonna do socials, but my bot has broken. Let me post my Twitter, X, whatever people call it now. You can just DM me on there. I always leave my DMs open. It's risky, but I leave them open just because if people want to send a message. X, Twitter. It's always going to be Twitter to me. That's normally where it's easiest to contact me because I post there most often. I don't really use Instagram. I should maybe try doing that. Yeah, sure. It's getting pretty late for me now, and my voice is going. So I'm going to call it a night. But thank you for coming along, everyone. It's fun doing the crazy news stories from Japan this week again. We'll try and do it again next week if I'm not doing a collab. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, thank you for coming along. I will see you next week. Exit stage right. Bye.